Yesterday, there was some indication that Greg Bovino, the individual who is overseeing Border Patrol operations, might get fired by the Trump administration or forced to resign. I am sad to report that that will not be the case, at least for now. Bovino has been pulled out of Minnesota. However, he is now operating in El Centro, California. Now, Trump is known to throw people under the bus. He'll compliment people and then immediately fire them. So who knows what the fate of Bovino will be. And to be sure, Trump didn't miss an opportunity to throw him under the bus in a recent interview. Take a look.
The message is out that Tom Homan is in.
Yeah.
Commander Bovino is supposedly leaving Minneapolis along with some CBP agents. Is this a pullback?
I don't think it's a pullback. It's a little bit of a change. Everybody in this room that has a business, you make little changes. Bovino's very good, but he's a pretty out there kind of a guy. And in some cases that's good. Maybe it wasn't good here. But you have to understand, when I watch some of the people that I've been watching over the last few weeks, these are paid insurrectionists. These are paid agitators.
Okay. Reading it sounded a lot worse than watching it. But
no,
what does that mean? He's an out there kind of a guy.
Yeah, so no, this is classic Trump. And if you're on the right, you should know this, because what he does is he asks people to do an impossible task. He often asks them to break the law. And then when they do, he then throws them under the bus. And
that's his favorite thing to do.
Yeah, so why is Bovino telling the guy, clearly in my opinion, telling his guys, run roughshod, right? This is not an accident that they're fire 5 bullets at a guy who was already disarmed, pause, and fire another 5, right? They fire 1 at Renee Good from the front, 2 from the side, and kill her from the side. So the fish rots from the head down. Bovino was brought in to be lawless. And then he did what Trump basically asked him to do. And then once it gets Trump into trouble and his polling is going down, all of a sudden he's an out there kind of guy.
I mean, when you really think about it, Cenk, people like Bovino model their behavior and their statements after someone gets gunned down after Trump's behavior, right? I mean, think about it. After Renee Good was shot and killed by ICE agents in Minnesota, what was the first thing Trump did? I don't even think he looked at the video. The first thing he did is jump on social media and claim that Renee Good ran over. She didn't try to run over, she ran over the ICE agent. So what does that signal to the rest of the people in your administration? It signals this is the way I expect you to behave. The fish rots from the head down.
So, and there's 2 parts of that. One is go take lawless actions. It's not like Trump didn't notice that they were masked and they don't have badges and that they've been pushing people around, including American citizens. There's already been 16 shots fired. Again, we'll come back to that later in the program by these guys. And each time the government goes, attaboy. And there's been no consequences at all. And he brings in this guy who's known to be out of control. That's not an accident. None of that is an accident. That's what Trump wanted. And then the second part is what Anna was just alluding to. He immediately starts lying about this, but he's lied about everything. Oh, they're eating cats and dogs, and oh, the hurricane is this way. I'll draw it with a Sharpie. I mean, nonsense, right? Now, over and over. So what happens? Stephen Miller gets the news that this shooting has happened and says, oh, great, let's call him a terrorist, right?
An assassin.
And an assassin, right? And now everyone is picking a different lie to go with, but no one's bothering not to lie. Because why? Because the leader told them, when you get into trouble, just make things up. And it doesn't matter how outrageous it is. But what they didn't tell him, and they should learn by now, but they still haven't after like 5 years of Trump as president, is he's gonna throw you under the bus. Like him attacking the left or whatever, that's normal. Everybody knows that, nobody's surprised by that. But every time he throws another right winger that people like that on the right, they're like, oh, Bovino's tough, he loves to break the law, yeah. And then he's like, yeah, he's out there, get him out of here. And he says, maybe he wasn't good here.
No, it's amazing.
I mean, that's definitely getting thrown under the bus.
I think the only person who has worked in a Trump administration and came out unscathed was Mike Pompeo, honestly, right? Everyone else was backstabbed, betrayed, wronged in some way, and I will allow it. Now, one other update real quick, Cenk. I was also curious about Kristi Noem, who's unfortunately still the head of the Department of Homeland Security. She's DHS secretary, of course. Is she going to be fired or is she going to be forced to resign? Well, Trump answers that question in our final video. Let's take a look.
I know you addressed it this morning. You talked about the incredible success, and it is an incredible success at the southern border, but you were asked, with the shift in Minneapolis and Tom Homan going to Minnesota, do you still have confidence in DHS Secretary Kristi Noem? You brought up the success at the border.
Look,
you do.
She was there with the border. Who closed up the border? She did, with Tom Homan, with the whole group. I mean, they closed up the border. The border is a tremendous success, one of the most secure borders in the entire world. We were a laughing stock 1.5 years ago for the whole world. The whole world laughed at us. I had friends that said, is that real? You know, they'd look at a picture. You've been down to the border. They'd look at a picture of the border with hundreds of thousands of people pouring in like it was water. And they said, is that really taken? They can't believe it. They think it's one of these crazy movies that they make.
I got news for you, Trump. The whole world is definitely laughing at us. Either laughing at us or absolutely shocked at how dysfunctional and disastrous our country has become. And that pains me because I love this country. But anyway, needless to say, it appears that Kristi Noem is safe.
For now, until Bovino's not enough and Trump tells him to go break more laws, and they do, and he gets into bigger trouble, and then he'll fire Noem. And that's how this merry-go-round goes. Look, real quick, he says, oh, you couldn't believe it, hundreds of thousands crossing at the same time. There's a good reason why they don't believe it. That didn't happen. Millions of people came in,
they did,
but hundreds of thousands of people didn't cross at the same time. There wasn't some sort of stampede. He needlessly exaggerates when millions of people came in anyway. You don't need to exaggerate, right?
Yeah, and look, I know that it would be ridiculous to ever have any optimism in this country, any optimism that maybe we can escape the wild, extreme pendulum swings on everything in this country. But it is true that Biden dropping the ball on immigration created the mass support initially for Trump's immigration policies, which got him elected into office in the first place. That is what I warned about during the Biden administration as the election was heating up. And everyone got mad at me and made it appear as though I'm like this anti-immigrant, draconian monster. No, I understand what people are saying, what people are feeling, what they're experiencing in their cities, their states, what they're frustrated by. And if the Democrats don't have their solutions for these issues, what happens? Well, the public starts looking for answers elsewhere. And unfortunately, they looked for answers with Trump, and this is what we get.
Last thing I'll say on that is, guys, let's all collectively please not make the same mistake. When you criticize somebody on your own side, number one, that's the principled, consistent thing to do, because you should care about policy and ideology more than you care about politicians and protecting powerful people. Number two, when you criticize someone on your side and say, hey, I don't think they might be able to win this election, you're not trying to hurt your party or your side, you're trying to help your side. So what we were saying is Joe Biden is too old, his policies are not good enough, and he's going to lose the election to Donald Trump. Please get him out of there so we can have a better candidate. And unfortunately, mainstream media has turned some people, now things are much, much better. But back then, tons of zombies out there going, no, must support Biden, must support Kamala, must support any corporate Democrat that the Democrats put out. That doesn't help at all. Pick the best candidate and stop doing foolish things. We have wonderful policies. Why don't we do those? Why don't we do those?
Why don't we?
Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.